everybody, it's Katie Beth Mihm, and I'm about to be blown away by this lovely West Texas weather we're having. They can't. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so as you know, we're here with Katie Beth Mihm, Vice President of Mihm Coffee, CEO of Farm Fed, head mofo of Katie Beth Mihm Music. All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Katie Beth. I grew up in the Texas Panhandle, and there's really not a lot to do around here. So I grew up and went to college, and I was going to be a doctor. I got through my last year of school so that I could go to medical school, and that's whenever I met my husband, and God had different plans for me. I started singing and writing music, and then a local band hired me as a female vocalist, and I traveled with them for a few years, and then I went out on my own and got my own band and been touring for the past couple of years, and I do a lot of things. I'm a jack of all trades. So we have a ranch, me and my husband have a ranch in First, Texas called Mihm Ranch. We recently got a coffee company, so we have our own coffee company called Mihm Coffee, and you guys can check that out at www.mimcoffee.com and get you some good coffee. Right now, my favorite flavor that I've been drinking is the Cinnabon flavor. Is so good. So if you like cinnamon roll flavor things, that's kind of been my fun one that I've liked lately. So I'm the foreman at our ranch, and I do ranch work every day, and I just help my husband do whatever he needs done, and he helps me do whatever we need done. And we recently opened a farm stand. It just got built yesterday, so it'll be open hopefully by next weekend. And so I'm excited because we'll have bread and cinnamon rolls, and we'll have fudge, and we'll have fresh eggs, and a lot of great different things. And we'll have our coffee there where you can purchase our coffee. And I believe we're just going to start out with ground coffee or beans. Who knows? Anyway, but you guys can check that out there also.
All right, here's a question for you. What is your favorite song to perform live, and why?
Live song. Probably La Bamba. Because everybody knows it. The crowd sings along. People are dancing. You know, everybody sings along with it. And it's excellent on electric guitar. You know, it's just a lot of fun to sing it. I like performing that one. That one's fun.
So speaking of La Bamba, you can sing in Spanish, so sometimes people are confused about your ethnicity. Can you tell us what you are?
What I am?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my mom is Native American, and my dad is Belgian. I was adopted when I was born by Mexicans. So, I'm just kind of like a melting pot of people, basically. But I'm Native American and Belgian.
So we're at the range today. Did you do any shooting today?
Yes, I did. And I whipped my target's booty,
Good
too.
job. What is your favorite handgun to shoot currently?
Currently, probably, is it the SIG?
Yeah.
Yeah, a SIG, probably.
Okay.
For sure. It's easier for me. Like, some of you may or may not know this, but I have lupus, and, you know, I've got some mobility issues sometimes. So, like, my hands shake really bad. So it was kind of difficult for me to find the correct gun for me. On the other side of that, if you do have any kind of handicaps of any kind, you know, just make sure if you are going to carry a gun that you practice with it all the time, how you're holding it, or, you know, just things like that out on the range. The range is the best place ever to go practice. I highly recommend it. Me and my husband have day dates, you know, at the range, and it's important to, you know, bring your kids out and show them how to handle firearms appropriately. Like, all of our children in our family know how to behave around guns and things like that. So I feel like that's really important to teach your kids. If you're not comfortable teaching them stuff like that, I know that you can get lessons from us. Rusty gives lessons through MDC Training, his training company. Women, ladies, if you guys ever want to come out and shoot with me at the range in Rusty, you're more than welcome to. We'll give classes, and he's got a website that you can get on and sign up for classes on there. And what is the website?
I quit doing the website because people never really went to. I just through the Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, so through Facebook and Instagram, you can get a hold of Rusty or me if you're wanting to sign up for some classes. We're not doing license to carry classes, but we are doing what kind of classes?
We're doing self-defense classes with the handgun, defensive type shooting. We're also doing constitutional carry classes because that's why we dropped the license to carry class. I spent like 5 years training the whole Texas Panhandle over and over and over with license to carry, and that's not what I wanted to do. I really wanted to teach people how to shoot and how to shoot defensively. That's where my heart was at. So when constitutional carry came out, I do still tell people get a license to carry, but we dropped that class so we could focus on the defensive stuff.
But we're still giving classes. So if you, and then I mean, this is a great class for couples. So if you want a day date, and you want to do something special for your husband or your boyfriend, y'all guys come take a class from us together, and you'll have lots of fun out here and everything.
So talking about firearms and training and women, what are your thoughts on these women that are like, oh, I don't do that. My husband will take care of that. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So, I cannot express this enough how important this is, ladies. Please hear me out. Okay. I train in jiu-jitsu and self-defense classes. I train with my husband with gun classes. Your husband or your boyfriend or your dad or brother is not always going to be around to protect you. So please, please, please do not be one of these women that you're at the grocery store while your husband's at work or your boyfriend or whoever is at work, and you get caught off guard by, I'm going to call him a bad guy or a bad person. Okay? Always be aware of what you're doing. Always be aware when you're in parking lots, looking around, paying attention. The most important thing that you can use as a woman is your voice in an emergency. If you do not have a gun, that is okay at that moment. You can holler out and start screaming. I think some of the self-defense classes I've taken, the instructors talk about how somebody will go to grab you from behind or in front, and you panic and you shut down and you don't know what to do because you're scared and you maybe not holler out or you try to, it's just a bunch of bad things could happen, and it can go a bunch of different ways. I will go wherever I'm at in town if my husband is not with me, and I am armed at all times. You need to be armed. Get you a gun that is comfortable for you, that you can draw back, that you can load, that you're very comfortable with. Take lessons with that gun. Get familiar with it. At home, load it and unload it and load it and unload it. Just practice everything. Even practice, my husband has me practice drawing out of my holster and how to stand correctly and just things like that. Those things could possibly save your life. The worst thing you could do is, I see all these posts on Facebook all the time about moms, and I'm a mother. We have 6 children. I get it. Trust me. If I'm at the grocery store and I've got a child with me, and some weirdo, be paying attention, because usually somebody's not going to just sneak up on you. They're going to be watching you before, they do something. So if you're uncomfortable, get somebody at the store. Don't, recently I know we just saw on the news this story, for instance, about this child that a woman at Walmart, I think, went after this child and cut his face open and all kinds of things, and the cop shot him. I'm sorry, but nobody should have snatched that child if the adult was paying attention, whoever the adult was that was watching them. Number 2, if anybody comes at you with a knife, you have to understand and know that you are probably going to get cut, and you need to stop them by reaching up and grabbing them by the arm and, getting control of the situation. If not, and they're coming at you, you have your gun, you know what I mean? Or a shopping cart. Me and my husband were talking about this story. I said, why did the person not just ram this lady with their shopping cart or use something next to you. You got to be thinking ahead. I hate that we've came to a place in the world like this where as women we can't go to the grocery store without having to be worried if somebody's going to snatch us or our kids and stuff like that. And I'm completely tired of women being victims of that. It should not happen, and we're just as capable of it not happening as our men are protecting us. Yes, it's nice if your husband or boyfriend or dad or whoever's with you, but do not be one of these women that is oblivious, like, oh well, if somebody, I don't know what I would do. I ask women this question all the time, and it would shock you what they say. I ask my friends all the time, I'm like, what would you do if somebody came after you from behind? And 99% of them say, well, I've got a gun, but it's in my pickup, or I've got a gun and it's at my house locked in a safe somewhere, or what, you know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Come on, y'all. We can do better than that. That's no excuse at all. So I definitely recommend taking some self-defense classes. That way, and I'm a small person. I'm only 5'4", so I'm not a very big person. But if I can, throw a man that's 6 foot tall over my hip on the ground and get away from him and run off, y'all can do it. Especially,
So good training plug. You're talking about refusing to be a victim.
don't be a victim.
A class that we teach is the very, very, very beginning of getting in the right mindset is an NRA class called Refuse to be a Victim.
Yeah.
And it's all about starting that process of getting your mind right. All right.
Or we'll go through scenarios. I'll give you 100 different scenarios of what could happen to you. What are you going to do? If you start pre-programming these things in your mind, you're not going to be a victim. So if you ever go anywhere, because we travel a lot on the interstate, I-40 is the most dangerous road, they've already said it, in the whole United States of America, where people go missing and things like that. My husband is not, especially when we're on tour, if I'm coming on or off stage and I'm backstage or something and my husband's not right there, I need to know how to protect myself in case some weirdo's, wandering around back there, lurking around for me. So anyway, next question.
All right. So we figured out you've gotten into firearms and martial arts and all that from your husband.
I didn't mean to do that.
We'll put that together.
That's my blooper. It's the wind.
All right. Next question. What is your favorite venue to perform at?
My favorite venue?
Yeah.
In Texas?
Sure.
Or just period?
Yeah, Texas. Let's go with Texas. Greatest country in the world.
Okay. Probably, we got to perform at Texas Live in Arlington for the Texas Radio Music Awards. That was amazing. That was so cool. That was a great venue.
All right. Next question. Growing up in the Panhandle, it's really, really, really harsh and windy and stuff like that. What do you do to try to make for your time? Like it's windy out all the time. What are some other things you do? We know you do farming, ranching, firearms, martial arts. What are some other things you're into on a windy day? Like today, obviously, we're at the range because you still got to be able to shoot in the wind, right?
Yep.
What are some other things that you like to do to occupy your time?
That's important. Real quick, I'll just touch on that real quick. He's talking about training in the wind. We have up to 80 mile an hour wind gusts here. You need to also be training in the snow, in the wind, in different elements. So that was a good point. I was just gonna say that, but anyway, so I do garden a lot. We do some micro farming stuff. So here lately, I've been working on our farm stands so that I can get that done. I'm actually in the process right now of designing a greenhouse that is for the Texas Panhandle that sets down in the ground like a wallopini. And so that's kind of what I've been thinking is we get less than probably 12 inches of rain a year. The environment here is very harsh. The wind is very harsh. The animals are very harsh. The dryness is harsh. There's no water. There's tumbleweeds. It's I love the Texas Panhandle, but I feel like you have had to grow up here to appreciate it, because anybody else that just comes here, they're gonna hate it here probably because of all that. But it's basically like living in the desert. I would think it'd be like living in the desert probably. You better like cactus.
All right, next question. It's back to your music stuff. People ask all the time, what is the instrument that you play?
My instrument?
Yes.
Okay. The instrument that I play is called a long neck dulcimer, and it sounds like a banjo and a mandolin put together. Dolly Parton plays one. A lap dulcimer sometimes, and it looks like kind of this harp thing that lays on her lap. But mine's just the long neck version. And I play some other instruments, but that's my everyday, daily one.
Cool. All right, final question. We've already figured out you're carrying a SIG because you like SIGs, but I'm going to come over there to you. You're going to stand up and show us your drip. What's your swag you're wearing for the day at the range?
My swag?
Yeah. All right, walk us head to toe. What you got?
All right. My shoes are from Columbia. I got these at Academy, I believe. These are fantastic. I use them for hiking and for range shoes. They're fantastic. I give them a 10 out of 10. Next, my pants are 511s from the 511 store in Lubbock, Texas. And then I've got my Oakley sweater on. And then I've got my SIG hat. And then I've got my Camelback and my Oakleys.
Nice. You're all tacked out and blacked out.
Yeah.
Final question of the day. As vice president of Mihm Coffee, what are your goals?
My goals are to create a company that has Americans in mind, that talks about freedom and being strong and agile and not being a sissy. It's like, manly coffee. So anyway, but for us women too, I know lots of women drink coffee. We sell really great coffee that women like our pumpkin spice one. It's called what? Colonel Karen pumpkin spice, or the frosty, the Jane, what is it, candy cane Jane? Yep. Ones. So we've got lots of great coffee, but I want our values as a family, as a Christian family, me, my husband, our children, my husband being military, we want to take that and share that with America and do some great things for people in the process, give people a great product. Whenever you go to order our coffee, we roast, the beans are roasted that day and shipped out the next day. And so just in a few days, you'll have coffee. If you want to order whole beans, you can. If you want to order ground or espresso, you can, or the pods or whatever. That's all fine. So we've got lots of great things coming, and I want my husband to be able to retire early, and I want to be able to retire, and I'm still gonna be singing, but not work as hard in life, maybe. So anyway, but great coffee, great quality, good customer service. That's what matters. And America, we live in the best place ever, and we need to remember that, and we need to not take no crap from nobody. America.
All right, with that being said, Mihm Coffee signing out. Thanks for having a talk with us, Katie Beth Mihm, and we're out.